Hey everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to NASCAR 2025 with Walker Air Transport. Just getting ourselves fired up here as always. Get everything lit up. Should be able to bring in my flight plan. So we did update our AirAC recently, so it's possible we'll have some interesting issues here, but hopefully not. But we are flying VIPs to all the NASCAR races throughout the season. So this week, we're heading up to Northeast Tennessee to the Bristol night race on Saturday, September 13th, 7 p.m. So we're here earlier in the day, and we are trying to get these guys there as quickly as we can. Well, that's not a very exciting flight plan that SimBrief gave us, but it works, I suppose. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and get the base ILS for runway 5. Hopefully, again, that will stick with us there, and that will be what we have available. So there we go, we're all set there. And then at this point, we can just send that to our avionics. Shut on down, but you can see things are coming on there. Now get our flight director. DNAV and nav, just so we're ready. And we'll head on down to the flight plan. Make sure everything's good. Alright, 119.5 is our clearance. St. Louis clearance, Walker 4021 requesting IFR to Tri-Cities.
Clearance on request, stand by.
Alright, so they're going to go ahead there. Just going to make sure everything looks okay here. It does, pretty straightforward. We don't have a lot going on.
Walker 4021 cleared to Tri-Cities via the TED 5 departure. Then as filed, climb and maintain 6000. Departure on 119.5, squawk 1716. Expect runway 12 left.
Cleared to Tri-Cities via the TED 5 departure. Then as filed, climb and maintain 6000. Departure on 119.5, squawk 1716. Expect runway 12 left. Walker 4021. Alright, let's get our APU going. I've been kind of bad with that lately. Alright, so 6,000. We'll get that in the box. Okay. APU's coming up. The battery discharge should take care of that shortly. We should be in good shape. We need 1716 as our squawk. So we'll be good there. Now, I was trying to get a livery working. In theory, we've got 2024 liveries for these, but I downloaded it, installed it in the directory. It looked like it was going to load up, but it is not an option for me, so I've got some help in there. In theory, after September 15th, we have to use them or we won't get credit for flights. So, obviously, I want to get that working, but I've not tried to get a Walker livery working on anything in 2024. So I just haven't had them available, but now they do. And again, there was a Citation Longitude livery, but as I said, it's not appearing. I just have the official one, and then I can go to the marketplace and buy others, but so I'm not sure if there's something I need to do to get things to work or get them operational. Alright, so we're gonna get both engines set to run, and we're gonna fire this on.
Echo Zulu IFR to Philadelphia, flight level 350. We have Oscar.
I'm working on that clearance. Stand by.
Alright, so this should
Philadelphia via
be
the
in good
J
shape.
7 departure, then as filed. Climb maintain 8,000, expect 350, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 132.125, squawking 6612 for citation circus over.
So we've got a little bit over
123, like to pick up our IFR clearance to Chicago O'Hare.
So we've got a little bit over 400 miles to go here. And let's see, we need 118.925 for ground. So we'll get that in there. St. Louis ground, Walker 4021, ready to taxi. So, pretty nice afternoon here. We're pretty close to 1-2 left. Did I put in the wrong number? It says, oh, I did. It's just like no one's listening on this. 118925. So somehow I missed that. St. Louis ground, Walker 4021, ready to taxi.
Walker 4021, St. Louis ground, runway 12 left, taxi via Foxtrot 7, Foxtrot Sierra.
Taxi via Foxtrot 7, Foxtrot Sierra, Walker 4021. Alright, so I'm trying something new here. Yep. Doesn't look like we have any arrows. So I've just been, wanting to be a little bit more realistic for folks in general. It's not like I don't know how to read charts and all of that, so alright, Foxtrot 7, Foxtrot Sierra. Oh, I see. Okay. Alright, so basically just need to turn around. We're gonna get this set. Gonna get our trim set. We gotta always move that down, but we've got our flaps good to go. And again, flight director's set. Get our parking brake off, and we will get going. So, you're going to want to turn pretty quickly. So we're going to fire the engines up a bit, because to make a sharp turn, you need a good amount of thrust. But yeah, it's a shorter flight than we had getting our passengers here. So we had about 500 plus nautical miles to get to St. Louis, but a little bit shorter given where we're headed. So we're gonna get over here, and then Foxtrot 7 is this, and then that'll get us to Foxtrot, so that we can see F7 or Foxtrot 7 right there, and then this is Foxtrot. Looks like we've got a southwest heading out over there. So let's see, that did some weird things. It's like its gear is broken. I hope it leaves by the time we're ready to go. Because, yeah, we don't need to go very far, but it's like a hiccup. Again, it's say intentions living world, so still being worked on, and maybe it's having a little bit of trouble with that flight. Not quite sure why, but... And this is Sierra. And there is 1-2 left. So, glad they were able to get us out. We've had this before where they're across the way. So we'll get our landing on. I forgot to put my taxi on again. But now is that... The southwest is gone. There's another one moving there. Because last time we kind of had this happen and then the plane just vanished. So we'll see what we have going on. But I need to get over to tower. Now that is 118.5. It's not 118.95. Whoops, 118.5. St. Louis Tower, Walker 4021, holding short runway 12 left at Sierra, ready for takeoff.
Walker 4021, St. Louis Tower, runway 12 left, hold short, you're number 3 behind the A319.
Runway 12 left, hold short, number 3 behind the A319, Walker 4021.
Walker 4021, St. Louis Tower, runway 12 left, winds 200 at 5. RNAV Funk cleared for takeoff.
Runway 12, RNAV Funk cleared for takeoff, Walker 4021. Alright, so that is the first time it's worked well. But once again, I'm very rarely at
contact departure.
At large airports, so I think that was some of it. I'm usually at little airports, and it's probably not quite that prepared. But this is obviously a mainline airport. It's the main airport here in St. Louis. We're heading to Kilo Tango Romeo Indigo, and that will be where we're landing in the Tri-Cities. So, should be pretty straightforward here. But we are moving, we are ready, we are rotating, and we are having positive climb. So we'll back things off a bit.
Southwest 420, St. Louis Tower, contact departure. Lumen 77, contact departure.
Contacting departure, Lumen 77.
Alright, we should be told to contact departure soon, I would think.
Walker 4021, contact departure.
Contact departure, Walker 4021. So this is where it always gets challenging, because I'm, you know, trying to fly and do that. St. Louis departure, Walker 4021 with you.
Walker 4021, St. Louis departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain 6000 direct TED.
Climb and maintain 6,000 direct TED, Walker 4021. Alright, is that where it's going? Not yet, so we're gonna go direct TED. So we're gonna activate that. I was going to say, and it wants us to maintain 6,000.
Walker 4021, climb and maintain flight level 240. Southwest 4297, direct UB, cleared for the RNAV Yankee runway 12 left approach. Descend and maintain altitude 4,000 until established.
Climb and maintain flight level 240, Walker 4021. Alright, so we're going about 30 miles.
Cleared for the ILS runway 11 approach. Descend and maintain altitude 3500 until established.
So definitely going to go ahead there.
Cleared for the ILS 11 approach, southwest 3744.
Alright, we are through
West
10,000.
4297, contact St. Louis Tower on 132.475.
Now, I did not set my altimeter. Shame on me.
132.475 for southwest 4297.
So we have scattered clouds at 15 and 20, and broken clouds at flight level 250. So I am going to go ahead because there's really not much going on here. You can see we're kind of going from TED, and then, you know, we're heading out en route, but just kind of straight out. This is almost as direct as we're going to get to Tri-Cities, but about 390 nautical miles to go. We'll connect up toward the end, and we'll get our folks there and ready for the race. See you in a bit.
Flight level 240, cleared for the Phillip 4 arrival into Charlotte Delta 2070.
When ready for descent, descend, flight, maintain flight level 260, Walker 4021. So welcome back.
5 for the ILS runway 17 right approach, UPS 196.
So we're out here. We're about
Descend and maintain flight level 240.
3 minutes from descent, and then we'll be going there. So hopefully, a lot of times they call a long way ahead. So hoping we won't have to worry about that, but
Delta 2070, contact Atlanta Center on 134.075.
we'll see how all of that is going.
134.075 for Delta 2070. Good day. Walker 4021, descend and maintain flight level 180.
Descend and maintain flight level 180, Walker 4021. Alright, so we're heading in. I've got the altimeter has actually dropped to 3018. So let's get that fixed up. But yeah, definitely a lot of intriguing
Indianapolis Center, Spirit Wings 1102.
progress
level
for
340.
sure.
Spirit
So,
Wings 1102, radar contact.
but it hasn't told us specifically what runway we're going to come in on. I'm hoping it's going to be where we think, because otherwise things could get really interesting in a way we'd rather not. It's still over a minute to go ahead and you know, do some of what we have going on there. But 30 seconds, 45 seconds basically. So hopefully you won't lower us down again. But yeah, we're getting to about 100 nautical miles. I'm guessing that's about where we'll be when we begin our descent, which is reasonable. Yeah, we can go down from about 30,000 at like 90 miles. So, you know, this kind of plane, though, can descend a little quicker. So I think that's partially why it does some of that. But, there's our top of descent there. And you can see we're hitting it, and we are now moving on down. So, throttle is getting backed off. And gravity's doing the rest. So, hopefully, we'll be able to make it and not have any problems. Because last time when I tried to land, it was a bit much. So, and I had to redo things again, so I would rather not do that. That was pretty awful, in all actuality, so if I can avoid that, that is going to be a preference that I have. 31,000. Yeah, we'll have to see how everything comes on down there. So yeah, sorry, I'm doing a few other things as I'm flying in here, but you know, we're on autopilot, so it should be okay. One would think, at least. Alright, okay, we're cleared down to 180, so we have a ways to go. And that's basically going to be our transition level, obviously, so makes sense. I'm not sure if we're going to stay with Indianapolis Center the whole way, if that is who controls East Tennessee, because technically we're still in Kentucky. We're coming down on the Tennessee, Virginia, well, we're going to cross into Virginia for a moment, and then go right into Tennessee, so we're like at the tip of Virginia is where we'll be flying over. And then, yeah, I think we've got a few shorter legs again. I think we do a couple races over here on the East Coast and then head back out. But I think we go out and back twice. So we got a couple long flights coming up here, but not right now. Alright, 26,000. There's not much I can frankly say at this point. We're just obviously trying to get closer where we can do some stuff. And once we're kind of in the landing path, things will become a lot clearer and a lot easier to keep track of. Alright, so I'm going to stop. I'm doing a terrible job of narrating, but hey, sometimes people do videos with nothing.
Altimeter 29901.
Interesting. Descend and maintain 10,000, altimeter 29901, Walker 4021. Yeah, I mean, that is not what I'm seeing here, so I don't know. I'm not sure I agree with that setting, because I'm worried it's going to be like
Indianapolis Center, Blue
too
Street
low.
5397, flight level 340.
But maybe we're going through a front or something. Oh, I gotta
Walker
change.
4021, contact Indianapolis Center on 124.625.
Contact Indianapolis Center, Walker 4021. Indianapolis Center with you, flight level 230, descending 10,000.
Walker 4021, Indianapolis Center, good afternoon.
Alright, nothing too exciting there. So again, coming up on that Virginia border, so you can see we got some mountains. Yeah, things are drawing in here. So they were green topped, but it's, yeah, filling them in more the mountainous terrain as we go. Let's see if we take a look in front. I'm guessing this will paint up in a little bit. Maybe not. But yeah, I'd almost say that ridge is like the Virginia border. Just kind of intriguing looking. Maybe there's a river down there that I'm not seeing.
Indianapolis Center,
Don't know.
Delta 2524, flight level 360.
Delta 2524, radar contact.
Alright. Let's hop back in the plane. Coming up on transition level. Now we're definitely in Virginia. And then there's like a straight line, but... yeah, I don't think it's ridge lines, but it is interesting, because yeah, it's like a straight line, and then that is Tennessee. And we're pretty much there, so... interesting. Maybe it does look that way. I mean, they're usually pretty good at making everything flesh out. There we go. Now it's starting to paint them in, as I'm sure it's loading them in from the Bing map enhancement. Right, so we're gonna change this. As long as it's still 29 or 9 or 1, but I'm showing 3018.
Contact Atlanta Center on 134.075.
But as it starts to get closer to 10,000, obviously it'll slow down.
Delta 3161.
So we're 43 miles away, but we're headed south.
Walker
And
4021, Indianapolis Center, contact Atlanta Center on 134.075.
contact Atlanta Center, Walker 4021. Atlanta Center, Walker 4021 with you. 16,000 descending to 10,000.
Walker 4021, Atlanta Center, good afternoon, try altimeter 29901.
Alright, well, giving us the same reading. And now we are in Tennessee. So this is...
Walker 4021, Atlanta Center, contact Tri-City
up
approach
there.
on 125.5.
Smooth 84 Juliet, climb and maintain flight level 260.
Contact Tri-City approach, Walker 4021. Tri-City approach, Walker 4021. Expecting runway 5.
Walker 4021, Tri-City approach. Good afternoon, try altimeter 29901. Expect the ILS runway 23 approach into Tri.
Expect a runway 23 ILS, Walker 4021. Alright, so we're gonna have to pivot. So let's see what we've got here.
Walker 4021, descend and maintain 7000, turn left heading 055, vectors for the ILS runway 23 approach.
Descend and maintain 7,000, turn left heading 055, vectors for the approach, Walker 4021. Alright, so let's see. I'm assuming that's where we want to go. Alright, so we'll see how close we get to 055 here. We're going to lower ourselves down to 7. I mean, we've got a little bit of extra distance here, obviously, but... But yeah, what we'll do, we'll pop this in, get ourselves to 055. Alright. And we'll do the heading there. So it will keep turning. But yeah, it's just going to be harder to tell exactly where we're at. But we'll follow in, say intentions, because that is our ATC. So that is always some of what we're doing. But yeah, SimBrief was putting us on 05. So obviously that's the runway, so we're running somewhat parallel to it, but not entirely. But you can see, you know, where it wants to take us. But I'm sure Kepi at that point is, you know, going to be straight on, just like we had with the ILS-5 approach. And, that, you know, we couldn't obviously make a U-turn in the air, so we've got to come up parallel to it. Let's see what we've got. Is basically the airport's out in that direction somewhere. We're not. It's probably more over here. Excuse me. Because we're about 20 miles away this way. As you can see, we're like slowly getting closer, but it's like 0.04 miles. Is what I'm seeing on Navigraph.
Clear to portage, direct Nahoff, and it's filed squawk 3217 ident 474 Lincoln Foxtrot.
Alright, so
Climb and maintain 7,000, 474 Lincoln Foxtrot.
Lima Foxtrot. Now leveling out at 7,000.
Helicopter 4 Lima Foxtrot, contact Atlanta Center on 127.85.
12785, helicopter 474 Lima Foxtrot.
So now we're heading back into Virginia. So we kind of looped around a ways. So again,
4021, turn right heading 075.
turn right heading 075, Walker 4021. So it does a really good job of vectoring you in. I have not used Beyond ATC in probably going on a year at this point. So I can't say if that has improved, but to me this is one of the things that was very different with, say, intentions when I started using it. Is they were able to bring you in and get you lined up in a way that felt appropriate. Again, not being a real-life pilot, I can't say that, you know, is real is good, you know, but from what I've known from flight sim and how you should approach things and kind of get at an angle to the runways and so forth, you know, with the downwind leg and the base leg and things like that, and then you're not coming in at 90 to your approach or your ILS approach path. Again, I don't think that's the right name for it, but that's what I'm calling it. All right, I'm looking to see when we're getting further from the airport, and right now we're not, because now obviously we're coming in on a sharper angle, and then we will be going in. So I probably want to get myself to Mocha. Right, just so that we know where that is. But again, we're on a heading, so even though we've activated direct to Mocha, like it knows where it is and what it in theory should do, but that will give us the line And so what I'm trying to see, because there is a curve there, because there's Kepi, or Kaipi, or whatever, where we were headed in. But then Mocha, I'm sure, is... where should we be for that? Not really telling us, because it's saying at Bowie we would be at 3,400, but it's not really saying at Mocha where we should be. But obviously the airport, this part of the country is a little bit taller, higher elevation and all that. But yeah, we'll kind of be ready to go on the headings so that we can adjust appropriately. But yeah, we're kind of getting a little past Mocha now. Where, like, if we turn pretty sharply right now, we'd be heading in... we'd be heading in almost at a 90-degree angle. So I think what it's doing is getting us enough past it that we can come in at an angle, but for whatever reason, because it's saying like 10 nautical miles out that we want to be at 3,600 and then get lowered to Bowie. Oh, you know what? This is the wrong... It's the wrong chart, because I changed runways, so we're going to change there. And again, I'm sure Mocha's fine, but let me do ILS final.
Walker 4021, turn left heading 050.
Turn left heading 050, Walker 4021. That's interesting. Guess it's deciding we're a little too close to the runway. Not sure. So, let's see. Now I want to be ILS 23, so let's change that. But yeah, Mocha, we're at 3,600, and then we're at 4,000, 10 miles out. But yeah, let's see. Does this give me more? It does. Okay. But yeah, now we're past Kepi. As you can see, we're kind of going right by it. Interesting, because it's really moving us a long way out. But once again, there may be flights sequencing in. I don't know.
Walker 4021, turn right heading 100.
Turn right heading 100, Walker 4021. Alright, so now this is a good sharp turn there. I'm guessing, I mean, we're still not anywhere near where we need to be for Kepi, but we're kind of going straight across as we do that.
Walker 4021, 9 miles from Key Pi. Turn right heading 180, descend and maintain 6,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 23 approach.
Turn right heading 180, descend and maintain 6,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS 23 approach, Walker 4021. Alright, start getting ourselves down there. Alright, 180. There we go. So, yeah, that's a pretty hefty turn here. But just about there. And again, as you heard, we were 9 miles from Kstl-Ktri.
Smooth 84 Juliet, contact Tri-Tower on 119.5.
I'm guessing we're gonna get the
19.5. Good evening, 84 Juliet.
we're gonna get the tower clearance soon, I would imagine. Oh, great. So we got this going on where we're not gonna. Right, so we're gonna try to get ourselves over here. Onto the appropriate path, otherwise it's not gonna work. So you can see it's starting to come in. There we go. Alright, so now we're on the localizer, thank goodness. Because I'm like, we're not getting a signal, I can't hit approach. I'm like, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Alright, no glide slope you can see, but that could be because we're a long way away here.
Contact Tri-Tower on 119.5, crossing Kstl-Ktri.
Contact Tri-Tower, Walker 4021. Tri-Tower, Walker 4021 with you, crossing Kstl-Ktri ILS 23 approach.
Walker 4021, Tri-City Tower, roger, continue ILS 23 approach.
Continue ILS 23 approach, Walker 4021. Alright, there's the glide slope, so it's suddenly illuminated. There we go. Alright, we'll get our landing on there. So we'll see this, the flight path 2 degrees. 3 degrees is kind of typical, so we expect to see that at some point. There we go. It's obviously backing things off. So it should slow us down. We're going to go to manual. Get ourselves down to 225, so we'll really slough off some speed here. Now I'm below flaps 1, so we're going to do that. That will, suddenly you can see the red line get a lot longer. So, a lot faster deceleration now, and once we get below flaps 2, we'll get that down, and that will start to bring us way down then. Alright. Again, we get ourselves down here. Let's see if I do a manual. We're gonna put out the gear now.
Walker 4021, winds calm. Runway 23, cleared to land.
Runway 23, cleared to land. Walker 4021. You can see the airport straight ahead there. We're gonna go full flaps now. Again, we've got it set on its throttling appropriately, so... But it's obviously going to try to slow us down a little bit here. But we are 1,800 feet
contact departure.
above ground level.
Contact departure, Cessna 3 Alpha Mike.
A little over 6 miles. We're just getting ready to go through Mocha.
Delta 1459, welcome to Tri. Contact ground on 121.7.
So yeah, we've not gone anywhere, nor do we have any plans to go anywhere, but you know, this is an airport near us that would potentially be one we might use. So, you know, always good. But yeah, we're in decent shape here. Coming in. Less than 5 miles. We're still up there. We're on the glide path, so I guess, you know, this is what we want. Yeah, I think there's just the one runway here at the airport, so I don't think it's got a lot of options. Okay, below 1,000 feet. So I'm gonna kind of just let it keep going. There's nothing that's really getting me too nervous right now. Just sometimes seems 500 is a bit much, but let's see. So we'll take this down, and at this point I think we'll take off auto throttle, because otherwise it's challenging to position that, and we'll try to keep going on the glide slope. Slow us down though. Alright, we're a little low. So just pulling up a bit. Alright, over the threshold.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Alright. Put the nose down. We'll see if we can rotate and get off the runway right away, because that would be good. So we might be a little bit off, but gotta cross the line here, and then we can see where they want us to go. So get flaps up. Alright, we should get a call. Very quiet. Oh, we got a contact ground, but maybe since we were outside of the plane, although it says contact 121.7. Contact ground 121.7, Walker 4021. I don't know. Tri-Cities ground, Walker 4021, vacated runway 23, ready for taxi to gate.
Walker 4021, Tri-City ground, taxi to Park Stand 6 via Yankee, cross runway 23, then Alpha, cross runway 9 are at your discretion. Have a good day.
Taxi to Park Stand 6 via Yankee, cross runway 23, then Alpha, cross runway 9 at your discretion. Walker 4021. Alright, so the problem here is we're facing the wrong way. Now, they should see that, so it is surprising, because this is not a normal situation with say intentions. They're not normally that screwed up with things. I'm going to see if, again, I can get enough thrust to whip us around here. Alright, it looks like that worked. Alright, so we're going to get... I mean, it knew we were here because it told us to cross 2-3, but it didn't know we were facing the wrong way. So again, normally we'd have arrows. We've had arrows for all of 2025, but I think folks who, you know, might be looking for something gonna be like, all right, we want to see some reality here a little bit, as opposed to, you know, the airport gives you follow me arrows all over the ground. Now, I've still got it set that I could request those, but Navigraph gives me the maps like I shouldn't need them. So this is Alpha, and then we're going to cross runway 9er, and I can see they're actually numbered by the terminal. Parking stand 6 is going to be about 90 degrees from here. So, crossing runway 9er. We're going to go around this turn, and basically we should be then, as we turn, seeing, yeah, we're going to go straight. And then here we're basically starting to swing in where we should be. Terminal B should be kind of right there, but it's not. So really, it's kind of where these folks are standing, which was why he was there. But and yes, it's out here, so it's not really against the gate there, but this will work. So we're going to park ourselves here, get rid of the landing monitor, we'll shut down the say intentions so the planes go away too. But we have made it to Tri-Cities in the northeast Tennessee mountains, and getting ready for some Bristol, baby, tonight. So yeah, I had forgotten to give the details. Yeah, Jordan Anderson was the winner of the race this past weekend. So normally I do give that a little bit, or well, a lot bit earlier, so I apologize for that. But yeah, who knows who's gonna have a night at Bristol. But we'll shut ourselves down, and we should be submitted, and we should be set. So you can hear the engines winding down. But yeah, not everything's kind of detailed out. We got like a gate out in the middle of nowhere. Those things happen once in a while. But I'm going to have to keep playing with the liveries, because in theory, next week, I need a Walker livery or I'm going to get in trouble here. So I obviously don't want to suddenly start flying in 2020, where I know I have the liveries, but I don't honestly know that I have the longitude available, because that was, I think, one of the planes that we were given for buying kind of the upgraded version of the game. So it comes through that way. But in any event, we are here. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have and haven't dropped a like or subscribe, please consider those things, and I will see you next time.